Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is, what day is it? My God, it's Wednesday. How this week has flown. We missed both Monday and Tuesday, which was Monday's hangover. We had some technical difficulties, but on Monday, of course, we celebrated and we remembered Memorial Day. And it drives me crazy whenever you just want to wish someone a happy Memorial Day and people want to bark back at you and say it's not a happy day. I understand that, but I do wish that you have a happy day because life is something worth celebrating, and people who give their lives for our freedom that we enjoy here in the U.S., what's left of it at least, those who have given their lives in that ultimate sacrifice, that's one hell of a request. And I always pray that life is celebrated. So, yeah, I do hope you had a good, happy Memorial Day and had an opportunity to consider and reflect what that's all about. So, anyway, it's good to be back with you guys. Sorry for the snafu yesterday. I was going to be, taping here from home while the guys are there in the studio. And, the Wi-Fi service, the internet service here in my residence actually decided to do maintenance on the thing yesterday. So I was without internet, and obviously we were not able to do the show. So here we are. I'm glad you guys are tuned in. I told you at the end of last week this was going to be very different. I wanted to kind of get out of the box a little bit and be able to talk to you from, I wish I could say I was down in my bunker and sound cool like Mark Levin, but I'm not. I'm actually in the living room here. So I'm glad you guys are here, and George and Brandon hanging out in the studio, and I got some stuff I want to get into. One of the things I think we're getting to a point where this primary season between Trump and DeSantis is starting to get a little unhinged and off the rails, and I want to talk to you about that. We'll get into that in a minute. But there are some pressing things that are going on in our world, and we're dealing with this Biden, McCarthy, debt ceiling, what Chip Roy calls a sellout. We're talking about, we're trying to call Kevin McCarthy on the carpet with this negotiation with Biden. The woke world is still attacking us, and there's tons of stuff that I want to get into on that deal, but it's just absolutely insane, this world we're living in. Guys, let me just say that if you're still, we've said this for years. We have said this for years, that if you're not chasing, trying to build a parallel economy, then you're guilty of everything that's going on in this world, because you're continuing to fund these major corporations that are absolutely against you, against your liberty, against your values, against your family. And I don't know what else to tell you at this point. Now, I know it's almost impossible to completely unplug and just say, we're not going to spend money here or there anymore. It's almost like saying I'm never going to buy another item from China. You literally can't not buy items from China. There's a major T-shirt company out there. We're discovering now that there's actually they in the label it says that the T-shirt is manufactured in Nicaragua, which ain't great, but it's a T-shirt. You don't get a whole lot of American-made T-shirts and cotton from America anymore, unfortunately. But they've now found just microscopic stuff in doing the research that comes from the region where there's Uyghur slaves in China. So you literally, you want to unplug from it all, but you can't. So it's a very difficult thing to do, to say I'm going to separate myself from woke corporate America and the woke corporate world. Now, I've been calling this stuff out on my social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. It's insane, the stuff that we're seeing that's going on. And people are commenting and saying, oh, how can these companies get away with doing this? Guys, I've been telling you how on this show. I've been telling you how they do it. They don't care about their profits and loss. They really don't. They don't care about their market share. They don't care about their market value. They don't right now. They know that they have enough to weather the storm. And they'll keep pushing this crap out, especially as we move into June, which is Pride Month. It's amazing to me that we have one day, Memorial Day, that's dedicated to those who gave their lives for our freedom and liberty here in this country. But we're going to give people who identify with a certain sexuality an entire month. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't believe anybody should have a month. There shouldn't be Black Month. There shouldn't be Gay Month. There shouldn't be, any month. There should be no month for any of this stuff. But yet here we are. We're about to be bombarded with this woke nonsense, okay? And you almost have to bow down to it, or else you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the penalty. No. I'm saying no, do not bow the knee to this nonsense. We're seeing the crap that's gone on with Bud Light. In fact, Brandon, if you got that clip, this is my buddy. Scotty Alexander is a Texas musician. He sent me this. He probably doesn't want to be included in this, but he sent me this from Buda, Texas. This was in the grocery store. This was on Sunday. This was Sunday, this past weekend. Brandon, play that clip, please.
Man, the beer aisle in Walmart is completely hammered. Out of everything. Oh, there's plenty of Bud Light.
It is happening everywhere. I mean, this is happening everywhere. This is the longest I've ever seen this go on. Now, how could they get away with it? Is Anheuser-Busch going to be hurt? I've told you over and over again. No, they're not. Bud Light, I think, is suffering a little bit. But we know that the power players behind them, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, all of these, major finance management companies that are out there, they're going to make sure that the woke BS is going to continue to be pushed through. The reason these companies are having to do this, why is, Target consistently, you go back a couple of years with Target, you had the debacle with which bathroom they were going to use. And then you had, now you've got this whole pride section that's going on, in the tuck bathing suits. We talked about that last week. I was actually fact checked on social media just the other day because they came in and these independent fact checkers said that no, Target is not selling, transgender tuck outfits for children. Well, fact of the matter is they are targeting children. They have stuff in the children's section. Nowhere in my post did I say they were actually encouraging children to tuck anything in their clothing. I'm just saying they have this stuff. The stuff is there. The stuff is targeting children. I posted a video just yesterday on my Instagram, again, at Watch Chad. You can go check all this stuff out, where there's a lady and she's talking about why are they targeting children? And it's a picture with, for pride with the rainbow and Mickey Mouse ears in there. And you can clearly see the tag in the back of the shirt. It is for a toddler. It's for a size 3T. So you can't tell me they're not doing this stuff. More and more we're seeing these things that are happening. And now you've got Kohl's. I mean, if you didn't think that the worst thing Kohl's was doing was selling you, overpriced garage sale crap, now you got to go in there and you got to dodge the rainbow. So the thing that disappoints me, though, and it doesn't surprise me, but it does disappoint me, is, over the weekend, Chick-fil-A came out with this statement where basically, they were saying that we're all better together, and, their whole diversity and inclusion and the whole equity thing. I think it's the equity thing that drives me crazy. But they put out there committed to being better at together. And that's an odd way of saying it, but we're better at together. Yeah, just shut up at this point. Just shut the F up. I mean, this is insane. I mean, Truett Cathy is rolling over in his grave at this point. This is not the company that he founded. This is not the company that he started. You go back, and Brandon pulled a great clip. I've forgotten about this clip, actually, where the CEO of Chick-fil-A. You remember when he pulled this little stunt in the church? Play that clip, Brandon.
I invite folks to put some words to action here. And if we need to find somebody that needs to have their shoe shine, we need to just go right on over and shine their shoes. And whether they got tennis shoes on or not, maybe they got sandals on, it really doesn't matter. But there's a time in which we need to have, some personal action here. Maybe we need to give them a hug too, brother.
And some stock in Chick-fil-A.
But I bought about 1,500 of these, and I gave to all our Chick-fil-A operators and staff a number of years ago. And so any expressions of a contrite heart, of a sense of humility, a sense of shame, a sense of embarrassment, beget with an apologetic heart.
Yeah, okay. I get it. That was back in, that was around the whole, the kneeling for the anthem and the BLM and the George Floyd. That was all around in that period of time. And again, we started seeing how this, Chick-fil-A from the top down was going to start pandering to these woke causes. And listen, I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to to serve each other. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to be considerate of each other. But when you're targeting a group of people in order to make them like you, I mean, to basically pander, that is the definition of pandering. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear so that you'll like us better. Well, again, be who you are. I mean, I've said this to you guys forever. If you want to be successful in life, you better know who you are. You better know exactly what you're about, know your mission, know your purpose, know your vision, and discipline your life in order to accomplish that thing, and then spend the rest of your life risking it all in order to accomplish that vision and live out your dream, live out who you are. Well, that translates into a corporate identity as well. See, these corporations, they go out there and they don't know who they are anymore. They don't know who they are. They're being told who to be. And that's what's frustrating everybody. You know, people like me, that's what we're getting frustrated with. Because, like, listen, we bought into your mission statement. We bought into the things that you said you believed in, and we wanted to be a part of that. You know, Chick-fil-A, they were closed on Sunday. They were a value-driven company, okay? No matter how much pressure they were under, you know, how many billions of dollars they could probably make, they made the decision they were going to be closed on Sunday. That's the day you want to go eat Chick-fil-A, is on Sunday. That's the one day you crave it, is on Sunday. And they decided they were going to be closed. And that's their values. And they built a business model off of that, and it was very successful. I mean, the fact that you go in there or you drive through their drive-through and they say, "It's my pleasure," that is a message that they're trying to, you know, that's a message they're trying to give you that represents their corporate values. It's their pleasure to serve you. But now if all of a sudden you're going to change that messaging and say, "Oh no, we're going to go out and we're going to pander to everybody," I can't respect that, dude. I just don't have any respect for stuff like that. So it frustrates me when I see it. And it's across the board. It is across the board with these things. So what are we going to do? I guess you stay at home and make your own damn chicken sandwich. I mean, I guess that's where we're going to live. Brandon, you're going to have to start cooking for me or something. We'll move in there together.
I do make a mean fried chicken.
This whole thing is, it's just getting stupid at this point. Brandon,
yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to reach over here and grab this computer real quick. I gotta pop something off of there. Have you seen any other stuff, like when you're going into stores? Do you even go into stores anymore? Because I don't go into any stores.
Not really, to be honest. It's kind of unnecessary at this point. Where like it's really, and it's easier, honestly. Like I hate dealing with people, so going to like when I go to Target, well, I don't really anymore. But when I would, I go through self-checkout. I like the robots. They're easier to deal with. So I don't know. I've kind of, once Amazon started delivering groceries, that was pretty much the end for me.
Right. Well, and that's ultimately, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is these companies, you say, why would these companies change their values? Why would they change who they are? They have to make up for it. They're using Chinese products. They're using slave labor products. They know that their social score is going to get, their social credit score is going to be diminished, you know, by you know, their impact on the environment, their impact on, you know, human rights violations. And so now they have to go out and they got to boost it in other areas, and they do it with the pride stuff. So, I mean, I'm trying to be gay. I really am. I mean, I'm going to try to spend the rest of June just really rethinking everything and see if I can't just be gay. Because it's just going to be easier that way. So if I can taste the rainbow. All right, guys. Every day, the parallel economy, as we're talking about, it's growing. It's bigger and bigger, and it's powered by everyday Americans who are absolutely sick and tired of the woke propaganda. It's just jammed into every product. It's jammed to every shopping experience, every store, everything you consume. At big mobile companies, you know, your cell phone, they're absolutely no different. So for years, they have been dumping millions into leftist causes, and we've had to take it because you need a cell phone. And you probably thought there was no alternative, but there is. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer dependable nationwide coverage on all three major networks, so you get the best possible service in your area without the woke politics. And whenever you switch over to Patriot Mobile, you're actually sending a message to these corporations that you support free speech and religious freedom, sanctity of life, Second Amendment, and our military, our veterans, our first responder heroes, because that's what they stand for over at Patriot Mobile. They got a 100% U.S.-based customer service team that makes switching easy. Keep your phone, keep your number too. Go to patriotmobile.com/chat, or you can call them at 878-PATRIOT. You get free activation when you use offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Ask about their coverage guarantee while you're over there. Get the same dependable service and take a stand for your values. Make the switch to patriotmobile.com/Chad. And we love you. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I don't know if you guys. I was in the airport the other day. I was coming through the Houston airport, and I walked past a magazine stand deal, and I saw the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And the only reason I noticed it, Brandon, was because it had Martha Stewart.
I mean,
on the front of it had the Martha. Dude, listen, and kudos to her at 81 years old. I mean, I don't know how airbrushed she is, but okay, she looked good. I dig it. But yeah, they had all the covers represented. Have you seen them out there?
Oh yeah, all of them. I applaud Martha. She looked the best of all the covers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I had to stop and look, and then I threw up in my mouth when I saw the one that I know still has a penis. I was on Eric Bolling's show. I was on Eric Bolling's show the other day, and they wanted to talk about this thing, and I did the same thing on his show that we talked about on our show. I said, where he's still got a penis, so that's the pose, right? You got your legs crossed. Yeah. And I could tell that the Newsmax editors over there were getting a little sheepish with my comment. So anyway, that's what it was. But AOC, I mean, they ought to put. When's AOC going on the cover of a? I mean, she's pretty hot, right?
I'd buy that cover. That'd be a good cover.
You'd buy that cover.
Let's be honest.
That's funny.
I would support doing like a Hot Women of Congress like swimsuit edition. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least enough. I'll give Nancy an honorary cover just for those jugs.
I mean, just throw her on there. Just send her back to Italy, and you'll get all the pictures you need.
Yeah.
So AOC, she's upset at this parody account that's going viral and gaining speed after being boosted by Elon Musk, which I agree. I don't think it should happen, right? So I mean, here you got AOC. She warned her followers about a parody account that was going viral, and she said gaining speed after Elon Musk had something to say about it, and. She said, "FYI, there's a fake account on here. We need to get Sarah to do this, impersonating me, going viral." And so again, Elon Musk, he engaged to this thing, and again, the Twitter rereads. I don't care who you are. I don't even care if you're in Congress. They can't joke. They can't do anything. They don't understand nuance, satire, hyperbole, sarcasm, none of that. So anyway, she was there's parody accounts out there. I mean, believe it or not, there's a ton of them under the name Chad Prather. I get messages every day from someone who is saying, "Have you been hacked on Facebook? Or were you hacked on Twitter? Are you hacked on?" No, people. I looked at my algorithm the other day, or I looked at my analytics, I should say, on Instagram, and my number 3 most popular place that my social media reaches on Instagram is Nigeria. And the reason is because those are the ones who are trolling the accounts. So it's happening on Facebook. It's all Nigerian accounts. And so when you see these, hey, send me a message or send me a friend request. No, these are Nigerians who are doing this. That's the nature of being on social media. Now, I get that, maybe Elon Musk ought to be a little more responsible for that, but the meltdown is a little bit funny, and of course the parody account is just trolling the hell out of her. So it said, "I can't believe someone would do that to us." The parody responded, "After brainstorming with my staff, I'm going to push Congress to make it illegal to joke, laugh, or make fun of me."
Which is kind of true.
If you look, well, that's what they're basically asking for, right?
Yes.
So this account, which now has 280,000 followers, well, it just dropped 100 right now as I opened it up. It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez press release, and then in parentheses, it literally says parody, parody. There it is. It's so. Again, the pinned tweet on here is "Printing money is the only way out of inflation." That's literally what they want to do.
Yes, it is.
That's what they want to do. So, If Congress would have passed my $93 trillion Green New Deal, inflation would be at 0.00% right now. I mean, this is basically a Babylon Bee dedicated to AOC. That's a good rhyme, actually. If we don't move to 100% green energy soon, car emissions will kill off the human race just like it did the dinosaurs. Well, I mean, that is sort of kind of the crap they're pushing, you know.
I mean, I have to think that's why it makes him so mad, because it's so close to what she actually says that's why it's you can tell it's making her genuinely angry because it's a little too close to home.
Yeah. Well, it is. And it's like, oh, no, I want to be able to say my stupid thing and then be able to defend it myself. They don't want somebody else saying it because it sounds stupid to them. I mean, look, we're living in a world where if you ever parallel what the left is saying, like, for instance, you take this whole thing. Now they're actually pushing for segregation. They had this past weekend, they had a black-only graduation ceremony at some college. I didn't read the story because it's just that damn stupid that's what's going on. You know, they want black-only classes, black-only dormitories. They want black-only everything. You know, black-only casts, all these different things. And it's like, oh, we got to talk about people of color. How is that different from back in the 60s calling them colored people? I mean, you're saying the exact same damn thing. You're saying you want segregation. I mean, that's the most racist thing in the world. And you're actually Democrats are doing it again. They're dictating back to society what they're actually wanting, and they're in essence bringing back a Jim Crow. So, you know, the fact that, again, we point out the hypocrisy of this whole thing. They're pointing out the hypocrisy of AOC, and you know, what are you going to do? I mean, that's literally what you've been saying, lady. It's what you've been saying. You wanted a $93 trillion Green New Deal. That's what you wanted. Then you got Wanda Sykes, you know, the comedian, who's supposedly she's a woke comic. You know, she's upset again, talking about Dave Chappelle and his jokes on transgender people were hurtful and damaging. He said there's two genders. He literally said there's two genders. I mean, is that hateful? She said it was awful. And she feels like the bottom line, she wants her new Netflix special to balance out Chappelle's jokes about transgender people. And she says, I think that what he said was so hurtful and damaging to the trans community. So, yeah, the scale is still tipped, I'd say, in their favor. What, biology? It's tipped in what? In science? Says, but I know I wanted to say something because so much has been said on that platform. And she said, well, they're friendly, she and Dave Chappelle, but she's commented on the laws banning trans women from women's bathroom, and it said she's not, in fact, transgender. So I'm glad Wanda Sykes came out and let everybody know that she doesn't have a set of balls. Look, let me show you. You know, here's our you guys have yet to see. This is not Wanda Sykes right here. This not Wanda Sykes. I don't know if you can pull that in the screen there. That's Dave Chappelle, actually. Yeah. Look at that door knocker. Bam, bam, bam. That is our Sissy Award. That is the cisgender. But said, I'm not trans, but they have my support. I'm glad you clarified that, Wanda. Wanted to find something where I can shine some light on what they're going through to show just how stupid and hateful really it is. Yeah.
Which is, it's an insane thing to hear that from a comedian talking about a comedian, because you would think Wanda Sykes would understand Dave Chappelle was kidding. But I guess, again, the problem is his kidding hits a little too close to home because it's the truth, which is the issue.
Yeah. I went to dinner last night. I was by myself. I was sitting there at a restaurant, and I sat at the corner of the bar there. It's a nice place. And I got to talking to this couple, and they were sitting, you know, around that little corner from me. So we kind of couldn't help but see each other, and we were talking. And we started talking about, you know, comedy, and they were asking my opinion on, you know, things like this. And I said, you know, good comedy should have some truth built into it so that when you walk away going, you know, that was something to think about. That kind of stretched me. I believe that, it made a point. You know, it's not just going up there being silly and seeing how dark you can be. My type of comedy, at least what I appreciate, is the George Carlin, Robin Williams, and yes, Bill Cosby, you know, Bill Burr, those kind of guys that I think make a point with their comedy. There's a lot of those, Jim Jeffries, a lot of those guys out there that I don't necessarily agree with, but I still can appreciate their comedy because I think they make a point with it. And that's all Dave Chappelle was doing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's giving you something to think about and saying some things using a platform that other people don't have an opportunity to say. So, I can at least appreciate that. All right. Let's go to a break. I want to come back. I want to get into this Trump thing because I think we're living in it's going to get dangerous here in a little bit. And I want you guys to breathe deep about this primary thing that's going on. And because we're at each other's throats, man. And I want to talk about that. We're looking at these headlines and it looks like the world is falling apart. And I will tell you this, that the smartest investment that you can make, in fact, right around the corner from where I'm taping right here in my house, sits 2 new boxes of my Patriot Supply. I believe in having food security. I'm a guy that doesn't like to miss the meals, and you don't know when the next disaster is going to strike. I mean, we just had tornadoes in North Texas this past week. You don't know what's going to happen, and you got roads that get blocked, you get things that get shut down, power that's out, and all of a sudden your grocery store shelves, they are empty. So I want you to get that emergency food and get it in full supply. That's why I want you to get that 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. They are the nation's largest and I believe most trustworthy preparedness company. And when you order today, you're going to save $200 on each kit. And you need to get a kit for each member of your family, honestly. And you want to make sure that you guys are going to stay well fed and not standing in those food lines out there. You saw the toilet paper shortages that are out there. Listen, we don't want to go through that kind of stuff when it comes to food. So don't delay. Order your 3-month emergency food kit and save $200 per kit. It's easy. Go to, I like this website, preparewithchad.com. Yeah, that's where I go to, preparewithchad.com. You're going to get fast and free and discreet shipping as well. Do it today. You might regret it tomorrow. Preparewithchad.com. We'll be right back. Can I just let you guys once again behold the glory that is the Sissy Award? This is the Cisgender Award. My kitchen is loaded with testicles right now. If you guys are, if you're listening to this and not watching, this is actually a door hanger. And I told you guys about it. You can actually go knock on somebody's door. We should call this the teabagger. But let me tell you something. Let me talk about a big set right here. Okay. I was up from 3:00 in the morning until 8 this morning. And then I took a nap, cause I have a weird life and a weird schedule and I can't sleep. So I was scrolling through trying to get mindless, and I was scrolling through some Instagram reels, the stuff I come across. Check this one out.
I've been dating him since 2015. I met him when he was 21. 21? And we had our first kid like a year after 2016. And we had another kid in 2017.
Wait for it.
And I just recently found out that this was my son that I gave up for adoption.
What did you say?
I just recently found out that this was my son that I gave up for adoption.
Huh? Let me just grab my stuff off the bus.
Oh, all right. Listen, that's horrible right there. That's horrible. This is my son that I gave up for adoption. Wow. I mean, what do you do at that point? That's when you I
mean, his face. His face says it all. That dude is just mortified.
I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean, and like you put the kids up for adoption, you forget you knew each other, and you go your separate ways. All right, you burn all records of anything. Yeah, you throw your phones into the river and you hit the road. So.
What you don't do, in my opinion, is make an Instagram reel and put it on the internet.
Tell the whole world.
Yeah.
So now that everybody that sees you, you can't even go to church.
Oh yeah, your reputation's ruined.
Yeah, it's a whole deal. All right. Let me go to this. I want to get to the Trump thing, but like this, we saw what happened with the Dodgers and the whole thing where they had the and the what are you ever call them, the perpetual indulgence nuns, where they had the drag nuns that were out there and they let them come back out there. And there were a few Dodger players who stood up against that, and I'm proud they did. But then you got like Toronto Blue Jays Anthony Bass. He apologized for sharing content on social media that advocated for Christians to boycott Target, Bud Light, and other entities pushing pro-LGBT ideology. He apologized, saying that his post had hurt the pride community. Bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, dude, if you have convictions, if you know who you are, listen, if the pride community, most people I know who are gay aren't fragile people. They're not fragile people. It's this quote unquote community that's getting together and telling you they're an oppressed people. Most of the people that I know, I was just watching Dave Rubin a little while ago. Dave Rubin's a reasonably secure gay man. You know, I don't sit around having I was talking to my buddy via text message, Riaz Patel, out in L.A. Riaz he's been on the show before. He's a left-leaning liberal, moderate Democrat. He's a gay man. He's not sitting around, worrying about himself. So when you start apologizing, I'm going to hurt the pride community. So you got to apologize to your teammates. And I'm sorry that he says I was going to use the Blue Jays resources to better educate himself. I can't stand it, dude. I can't stop. I just can't stand it. We have, and again, this pandering is ridiculous, guys. It's insane. And they're going to be the death of all of us if we don't stand up, return to some values, have some sense of morality and conviction about who we are and what we believe, and stop these so-called freaking oppressed groups from telling us that we are somehow hurting them with our words. Dave Chappelle ain't hurt you with his comedy. They're not. Now, you go to the Middle East and they throw you off a freaking building. That might hurt a little bit. But I'm sorry that the words are finally hurting you, and it's not about sticks and stones anymore. It's absolute freaking insanity of this stuff we're living in. And, whatever. I mean, you got, look at this shit right here. I mean, I posted this, Disneyland. You go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I mean, come on. Do you expect you bring your little girl to Disneyland to meet princesses because you've told her, hey, you're her, she's your little princess. And you give them that lie when they're a kid, tell them they can be anything they want to be when they grow up. Let them live in a fairy tale for a little bit, because you know what? By the age of 7, we lose our sense of wonder completely. And we don't even know how to, dream anymore. But, Disney World and Disneyland was always kind of a place where we could just kind of get away, escape reality, go into a fantasy land a little bit. And it was safe to do that. But now, no, you bring your little girl to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique inside Disneyland, and here's the princess that greets her. Play the clip.
So my name's Nick. I'm one of Fairy Godmother's apprentices. I'm here to shop you around and make all your selections for the day.
I'm thinking that if you're going to go with the dress, and you're going to go with the high-pitched little female voice, like you just so loaded of estrogen, and you don't have any testicles, if you're going to do that, shave the effing mustache off. Get rid of the sideburns. Like, take care of the 5 o'clock shadow. I mean, look at this guy. It says, I'm one of the fairy godmothers. I'm here to shop you around and make all your selections for the day. Stay the F away from my kid, Ethan, Nick, whatever your name is. Dude, I mean, this is sick. I mean, can we not just let our kids be safe anymore? Just be protected, and just have fun, dream a little, have a little wonderment, a little amusement out there. Can we not go on vacation from the bullshit? But here we are. And this coming from a guy whose daughter is an actual Disney princess. I mean, if you've been to Disney on Ice, she is an actual Disney princess. And we talk about that every now and then because we talk about Disney, and they take care of her. She likes working for them. She's an adult. I can't say, hey, you don't need to work for Disney. I'm not going to do that. I've raised her the best I can, and she's an adult now. She makes that decision. I'm very, very proud of the decisions she makes. But I look at this stuff and I'm like, when my kid goes into the bibbity bobbity boutique at Disneyland, I don't want him to be around some dude that pees standing up while he's pretending to be Ariel or Belle or Anastasia or shit. I'm running out of Dory. Yeah. I don't even know.
You thought like the $250 dress that you're paying for isn't bad enough. You're already being gouged on what's probably a $15 dress. People were okay with that.
Made
in China.
By Uyghur slaves in China.
Exactly. And now
it probably
it's like,
has a tuck pocket.
Yeah, now I got to explain the dude in the dress to my daughter. It's like, I get it's a fantasy land, but we got to stick to the kids' fantasies. And at this point, like if you work for Disney, I think you're kind of suspect at this point. You kind of got to prove otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I said when my daughter, who I don't want to tell all of her business, but when she said I've got an opportunity to perform on tour with Disney, and I said, well, don't let them make you transgender. She said, you don't have to worry about that. And I said, no, seriously. I said, if you ever have questions, you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I've taught you to be a critical thinker, You know how to think with complexity of thought. You're an independent person. And I'm going to trust you to do what you need to do. And, that's all you could do as a father of an adult, child. But I see this stuff and I'm like, come on. What are we doing? All right. I still want to get to the Trump thing. I do, because it kept me up all night. Not really. But the people are just hung in there too tight. Hey, guys, I want you to picture for a moment, though, that what it would be like if all of a sudden the global medication supply just, let's say like your antibiotics, let's say it just stopped, right? It just wasn't available, and you went to your pharmacy and you couldn't get it, just disappeared right before your eyes. Most of the medicine that we take in this country is made in China. It's made in places like India. And if something were to happen, if there was a global problem, they're going to keep the medicine for themselves. They're not going to put it on a ship to America. They're going to take care of their own needs first. So what do you do when all of a sudden someone you love needs an antibiotic? There simply aren't any to be had. Well, the answer is you should have a supply on hand in case of a disaster. So the Jase case from Jase Medical is a great way to keep yourself prepared for the worst. It's a pack of 5 different courses of antibiotics that you could use to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, things like UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, and a whole lot more. It's a great way to be ready for shortages, and it's perfect for traveling. So don't get unprepared. In fact, when you go to the website, you'll see some other things you can add to your Jase case, and I did that exact same thing. So go to jasemedical.com, enter code CHAD, I spell it Chad at checkout. That's promo code Chad at JASE medical.com. We'll be right back. Right there, just taking a quick break, I checked my phone. I get a text message in, and here you have, I'll just show it to you. You got all these family-friendly pride yoga. This is happening in places like Pennsylvania. I mean, why? What? There's nothing creepy about that, right? You got all this stuff. You got drag queens performing for kids. You got painting trans flags on children's faces, all ages, gentle yoga class. You know what? I don't want to take my kids to Bourbon Street. I don't want to take my kids to Duval in Las Vegas, after, 10 p.m. I really don't want to. There's just some places you don't take kids. And there's, if I know that there's someone at a church where they, are a sex offender or something like that, I'm not taking my kid to that church. If I feel uncomfortable with somebody, even I'm not going to openly take my kid to that. But it's insane, the stuff we're dealing with. All right, so this Trump thing. So Trump is on Truth Social, and so sometimes we post a screenshot of things that Trump says, and people say, "Oh, Trump didn't say that. He's not on Twitter. He's on Truth Social, guys." So you have to go over to Truth Social if you want to see what Donald Trump is saying now. We're seeing this crazy, if you say anything about Donald Trump, then suddenly, again, the Twitter Riris on the right are going to come attack you. And they're going to say, oh, you're sold out. You must be on the payroll of Ron DeSantis. You must be bought and paid for by Fox News. No, I actually speak for myself. I'm not paid by anybody. I am fortunate enough to be on the Blaze independent broadcasting platform. and I am an independent podcaster. Okay, so I say the things that I believe, and I say the things that I see, and a lot of times I think they're for the betterment of you, in order to help you think critically and to think with some form of thought that will make your life better in the long run, and not send you down a long road that's going to lead to destruction or chaos. That's sort of my mission in life. I want to give you some things to think about, and maybe save you some headache down the road. So, well, there you go. You got that's pulling that thing off. The Siri was trying to tell me how to save myself a headache. Okay, it was in my ear. There's how to turn that off. The Siri is way too helpful, but I'm trying to save you the headache. I'll be your Siri. Okay, so the Kayleigh McEnany, who's on Fox News, she's a former, of course. I think she's the gold standard. She is the prime example. Hang on, don't put the graphic up there just yet. I think she's the prime example of what a press secretary should be. I mean, she was the gold standard. She was sharp. She was articulate, incredible communicator. She was always prepared. And now she's over on Fox News, and she read a thing that said, based on May numbers, or I think it was April numbers. A lot of times people are handed pieces of paper, and we read the story off of the thing. She read the numbers and said that Trump was polling 25 points ahead of Ron DeSantis. And Trump, of course, goes on and he says, well, I'm polling 34 points ahead. Still don't put the graphic up there just yet because I want to build up to this. And you would think on this whole deal that Kayleigh McEnany has just gone out and just looked for ways that she could absolutely sabotage Donald Trump's campaign. How dare she? She wasn't a huge fan of Trump back in 2015 before he was elected. Then she worked for Trump. I'm on record myself as saying I didn't understand Trump in 2015 either, but the guy won me over with some things. And you evolve as a human being and the people you give your support to. Trump goes on Truth Social, and here's what he says. Put the graphic up. So he says, Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany. Of course, he misspelled milk toast because milk toast is not M-I-L-K, it's Q-U-E, M-I-L-Q-U-E toast. McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers for on Fox News. I'm 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25 up. While 25 is great, it's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. Listen, the crap that she put up with in dealing with the press pool every day for Donald Trump. And then you're going to say, I tweeted, I said, this is pathetic. I said, I don't care who you are. This is unacceptable and unhinged. Kayleigh McEnany took bullets for this man. We have a guy in the White House destroying the country, and you go after her? It's becoming an absolute joke. And people, of course, that tweet has now been seen 1 million times, 14,000, 15,000 reactions to it, tons of comments under this thing. And a lot of people are very mad at me. Now, most of them have a fake profile picture. Most of them have a fake name because, again, everybody, and I commented after that. I said, here was my tweet that I followed up. I said, you tweeters with your fake names and your fake profile picture seem to forget that the Democrats, even with Joe Biden as the candidate, are capable of putting 81 million on the scoreboard. You're so focused on a primary that you forget what they're capable of in the general. Everything matters right now if you want to win this thing with Trump. Now, episode 809 of the Chad Prather Show, I give you 5 reasons why I think Trump needs to win. But I'm telling you, he ain't going to win with this kind of rhetoric, going after people who, he's attacked Jenna Ellis now, Katrina Pearson, and now Kayleigh McEnany. I think Donald Trump at this point would attack Don Trump Jr. if he said something. He would attack his own daughter if she said something that was out of line. I'm just telling you, he's got to get to a general election. If you're up 35 points, that's great. That means you're coasting, man. Do the positive things. Tell us what you're going to do when you get back in office. I think people are ready to rally behind Donald Trump because he's a guy who says, I don't have I don't have to put up with the crap because I don't have to run again in 4 years. I can do whatever I want to do, and I can make some real changes. I can pull down these agencies. I can make some real lasting change. But that guy has got to get through the general election, and whether they're real ballots, real voters, real numbers, whatever it is, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate, the Democrats put 81 million points on the board in 2020. That's at least, at bare minimum, the algorithm you got to overcome. You can't do that by alienating everybody with this kind of rhetoric. You just can't do it. That's like saying, oh, Chad, you know, he's gonna say these things. He's going to attack everybody. We're just okay with it. I get that to a point. But guys, that's like saying you're okay with your kid going to middle school and beating the shit out of all the other kids on the playground and saying, hey, he looked at my kid wrong, or he said something wrong about my kid, and it's okay for my overgrown bully of a son to go beat the shit out of everybody. And then you get pissed off at the end of the year when he doesn't get the certificate for Mr. Most Popular. Listen, guys, we're trying to get this guy through this whole deal, but it ain't going to happen like that. It ain't going to happen like that. And I got more to say on it, but I'm out of time. All right. Hey, guys, cleaning guns is just one of those necessary hassles in life. Personally, I don't like it. It's a dirty job, but you got to do it. You use the patches. They're messy. You use the ropes. They're ineffective. They hide the dirt. So I found a better solution with Barrel Buddy. And a lot of y'all are sending me messages. You like them. You're trying them. And that's kind of my meditation places when I'm cleaning guns. And I like it. So Barrel Buddy, they compress to fill the interior of your gun's barrel, making sure to clean the rifling grooves. And they come in 7 different sizes to match any caliber firearm. Barrel Buddy's composed of polymers that don't leave behind those residual particles, and they're safer for your gun as well. So that's an amazing concept. It cleans by scrubbing and collecting particulates, then absorbs any remaining residue, buffs the interior surface clean. You can even lubricate your firearm while you're cleaning. Listen, cleaning your gun is an important part of being a responsible gun owner. So go to barrelbuddy.com. I guarantee you'll love them. Go to barrelbuddy.com. We'll be right back. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for putting up with us while we kind of figure out the technical glitches and all the stuff. I mean, where else can I just sit here with Biscuit in my lap the entire time and do this show? What are you looking at? Look at the camera. Look at the camera, Biscuit. Look at the camera, Biscuit. She doesn't want to do it. Anyway, just sit and hang out in my lap the whole time. Anyway, you guys, don't forget to subscribe. BlazeTV.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad and save on an annual subscription. I want to remind you guys, I've got some huge dates coming up next week. Well, this weekend, we're going to be at the Great American Syndicate in Dallas, Texas, there at Gillies. If you don't have the tickets for that, come see me Friday night. And then they're going again through Saturday, where you're going to get around some great influencers, conservative voices, tell you how to do business, tell you how to network, tell you how to be successful. It's so many things that we need. We talk about parallel economy, guys. If you're in the Dallas area, come join us for the Great American Syndicate on Friday and Saturday. And you can find it at my website, watchchad.com, where all the fun stuff is. Thanks to George and Brandon there for hanging out in the studio. And guess what? We'll do this thing again tomorrow. We love you guys. God bless you. And we will talk to you then. Bye.